When we look at villains in shows and movies, most of them are searching for one thing: power. Power is their driving force. Without it, they are nothing. They have nothing. The only thing standing in their way of obtaining it is the protagonist stepping in. That's the classic villain's arc. However, there's one problem with this. The villains never have to deal with the repercussions for seeking it. Either they're thrown in jail or they die without ever learning from their mistakes. Arcane turns the tides on this concept of power. In this show, the price of power is expensive, for if you seek it, there will be consequences to deal with. Silco's whole goal in life is to seek power, but at what cost is he willing to achieve it? When we first meet Silco, he's the equivalent to a James Bond villain. He hides in the depths of the Undercity scheming. We're not entirely sure what his plan is or what his motives are. He just lurks in the shadows, waiting to strike. He's unsettling and mysterious. It's a perfect introduction to the antagonist of a series. As Act 1 progresses, we truly see how much of a threat he is. Having the mad scientist singed create shimmer, which causes people to turn into Arkham Asylum monsters. This man is 2 steps ahead of Vander, who doesn't even know what's brewing in the depths of the Undercity. In Act 1, power is Silco's sole focus. He will do anything to get it, even stating real power doesn't come to those who are born strongest, fastest, or smartest. No, it comes to those who will do anything to achieve it. This is one of the greatest lines in the whole show, but it firmly shows how Silco is not playing around. He's obsessed with the idea of creating the nation of Zon. If he has to kill 3 kids and his adopted brother to obtain it, so be it. The taste of power is tested when he first meets Jinx. She reminds him of his younger self, the man who foolishly trusted Vander. Jinx brings out his softer side because he knows the pain that she's going through. Both Vander and Vi, the people they looked up to, left them to rot, and Silco doesn't want the same type of loneliness to take hold in Jinx's heart. He takes her under his wing to raise her like a daughter, and in this decision, power doesn't take hold. He sees Jinx crying in the rain. He just wants to help her. The price of power can't compare to this little girl. With Vander out of the way, Silco is calling the shots in the Undercity. It seems like the power of ruling isn't what he expected. It's a lot more busy work to keep everything and everyone in check. Power is no longer something that Silco is searching for. Now he's basking in the glory of acquiring it, but it takes a lot more energy to stay in control. Act 2 Silco isn't as mysterious or unsettling as the man we see in Act 1. He's clearly out of his element. Now he's the face of the Undercity. Even if people in Piltover have never seen his face, they know who he is. The consequences of having power is starting to take root. Now that Silco is in power, he has more people watching him closely. Sure, he has the chief enforcer of Piltover helping him, but even his loyalty is waning. On top of all of that, Silco's adopted daughter Jinx is having her own struggles. Jinx's struggles directly cause a lot of issues between Silco's control of the Undercity and his personal life. At one point, it causes Savika, Silco's right hand, to comment whether it's worth keeping Jinx around. This comment does anger him because he's grown to love Jinx for who she is, showing that the price of power might not be as important as family, turning away from his duties to the Undercity to help Jinx regain clarity, which does help her a little bit until Vi shows up. Wait, I'm sorry, that's the wrong sound effect. It should sound more like this.
Oh, you stink!
That's better. Just when things start to look up for our dear friend Silco, Vi, Jinx's real sister, comes to the rescue, which adds a lot more to Silco's plate of things to deal with. Vi puts a strain on his relationship with Jinx, which causes Silco to chase after Vi, instead of controlling the Undercity like he should be. The Empire walls that Silco has created are starting to tumble down. I'm sorry, I had to reference that song at least once in one of these videos. I just love that song so much. In this act, the cost of power becomes a lot more of a hindrance than a perk. Act 2 shows Silco as a man out of his element. Act 3 shows how power has made him a broken man, putting him in the same position Vander is in Act 1. Silco is lost in the waves of problems that haunt him, having to deal with the growing tensions between Piltover and the Undercity due to Jinx's chaos, and Vi and Caitlyn are just running amok somewhere. All eyes are on Silco, and some become more untrustworthy by the minute. Silco's board of directors, I have no idea what to call them, so we're just gonna go with that, start to get wary of Silco's rule. Seeing the old man lose control gives them the idea to take the power away from him. The cycle of power never dies. The only thing that changes is the players. The board wants to take Silco down, even asking Savika to help them. When the coup takes place, Silco is unaware, causing Savika to step in and save him. This selfless act has nothing to do with Silco's power. It has to deal with Savika's loyalty towards him. In this instance, power can't compare to loyalty. And as Act 3 progresses, Silco is no longer focused on gaining power. What he's truly focused on is loyalty. Even after Jace gives Silco his dream of having the Undercity be independent, the power to rule is not satisfying. The proposal has a bitter aftertaste. In order for Silco to get his dream, he has to give up Jinx. This is the moment where Silco breaks. He put his whole life into making the nation of Zaun a reality, but is it worth losing his only daughter for it? As he sits and ponders about what's more important, he finally understands Vander's moral dilemma, stating, "Is there anything more undoing than a daughter?" After sharing a drink with his old friend, Silco knows what he has to do, but he doesn't really get a chance to do it because Jinx is hiding in the background waiting to strike Silco down. Now we get to everyone's favorite scene, Jinx's party scene, where Silco's loyalty to Jinx is tested. For this is Silco's final plea to get his daughter back. It is very similar to Jinx and Silco's introduction, however, this time around, Jinx has all of the power. The only problem is, who is she going to listen to? An argument ensues about Jinx, and I'm no therapist, but you probably should not be shouting at a poor, overwhelmed girl. Like, clearly, this girl is not okay. Silco, after some time, understands that Vi is overwhelming her. He takes Jinx's gun and tries to shoot Vi to help calm down Jinx. This threatens Jinx even more, and she shoots her adopted father. Jinx doesn't understand that Silco was only trying to shoot Vi to show his loyalty towards his daughter. This is no power move of any kind. This is a desperate attempt to save Jinx from herself. As Jinx starts to understand the severity of the situation, Silco utters his final words. "Don't cry, you're perfect." Loyalty and love in his heart when saying it, Silco is powerless, and in these final words, he's trying to showcase how much Jinx truly meant to him. The symbol of power is not worth the love of a daughter, and it never will be. Clearly, this man is dead. I know. I get it. If only there was some weird mad scientist that so happened to test on humans and bring them back from the dead. I wonder. I feel like this is really unlikely, but I'm still gonna point it out. In all honesty though, if Silco were to come back, it would be more like a figment in Jinx's mind, like how Clagger and Milo are. This Silco figment may help guide Jinx through her dark times ahead, because we all know that she's gonna have to deal with a lot of stuff in Season 2. Silco's journey is a very interesting one that shows a man struggling with power and control. Villains like Silco get the thrill of seeking it, but after they have power, that feeling is gone. All it does is take from them. It's like a parasite wanting to feed into more and more of their energy. Power is something that villains want, but they never truly know the cost of it. Silco's arc breaks the system, showing the toll it takes to stay in power. The cost was too much for him. Silco chooses love and loyalty over power and loneliness. But hey, that's just what I think. Let me know what you think about Silco in the comments down below. Click here if you want to watch an in-depth video on who really is Mel Madarna, or here for a whole playlist of Arcane deep dive videos. Hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time.